Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? So look, obviously, as y'all can see, man, I'm not like in my normal like space, and that's because I'm in the process of moving right now. So I'm kind of like working in a little bit of a, I don't know, just a little spot until I get back to everything else. So to the point, all right, we just saw the ESBC roundtable. It had Ash Habib, Sonny Edwards, Todd Grisham, and Will Kinsler, and they kind of sit up there and they talked about certain things, the issues really kind of within the community, and they addressed a couple things here and there. So this is not going to be like a full video on all of that. I do want to talk about 3 areas in particular, and then later on, what I want to do is I want to do like a longer breakdown, but it's probably going to have to be at a live stream, yo, because it's a 40-minute talk, and that's going to take a while. And I don't want to hit y'all with like 9 different videos, yo, breaking down all that stuff, man. I'm not going to milk y'all's time that way. Plus, like I said, I'm moving. So I took some notes, right? Because I don't have everything like you know what I'm saying, at my disposal at the moment. But here's a couple things I would talk about. First off, obviously, early access and a release date, right? So we knew early access was still a possibility because it literally was still on the Steam page. You can go over there and it still talked about early access. So we knew that early access wasn't necessarily gone, right? So, okay. But they did confirm, Ash himself literally said that they will be working towards early access. Now, when it comes to a release date, it basically said we're looking at internal stuff, internal milestones, and that's really kind of it. So I haven't even looked at the comments anywhere yet, but I'd imagine that it's probably full of still no release date, still no release date. Probably coming out in 2056, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll have flying cars like the Jetsons by the time the game drops. It's something to that effect, right? But still, I think early access is good. That still means that you can get the game out sooner than later. Now, the big question is why early access, right? And that's what most people are going to ask. I won't fully 100% speculate. I mean, obviously it's up to them, but do I think that it's a crowdfunding thing like we had talked about before? No, I think this is more of a situation where it's like bug testing. They want to see if the game is actually fun so that they can make changes before they actually get to a full-blown release, i.e. like the PUBG route, like the way that they went into early access. So that also poses the question is how long could the game potentially be in an early access state before we get a full release? Obviously, we don't know, but that is something that they are going to probably have to address sometime later on. Sonny's comments on the gameplay and just the technical aspects of the game. Will the game be pick up and play? For sure. The buttons are not that dissimilar from any other from Fight Night, right? If you've played Fight Night, you'll probably be able to pick up and play the game and learn the buttons and the mechanics rather easily. Where the separation comes is in the strategy of the game, because the strategy behind this is not the same as Fight Night. It's not the same, like even remotely the same as Fight Night. With that being said, he did mention that if you have boxing experience in some way, then you are probably going to go into this and you're gonna have a leg up on everybody else, at least initially, right? Because you're gonna understand the flow of a fight, how it works, what punches to pick, which ones to throw, what you can get away with and what you can't. So for anybody who don't come in with that experience, it may take you a little bit of time, but it's not impossible for you to pick it up. So I wouldn't be deterred in that aspect to not play the game, to think that it may be too hard because you don't have previous boxing experience. I don't think it'll be that way. Now, he did talk about, he said, put it in my hands and record me playing it, and the game may look a little bit better. Now, I've made mention to this before, and not particularly to him, but just in general. Some of the videos that we've gotten, you really see 2 people in there who really don't look like they know how to play. And it's just these people just beating on each other, and you don't get to see anything really technical. So I think it's actually a good idea dude, set up Sonny Edwards versus a content creator, me, and see a really technical game, right? See a really technical fight, so that people get a sense of what they are capable of when they actually get to play the game. You know what I'm saying? For those that are going to come in with that like boxing experience, let them get their hands on it, man, and let the creators and Sonny go in there, have a fight, man, so that and just really put it all on display. Let's just get it out there. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm getting at. Will it be fun? Yes, wholeheartedly. Dude, he said if he got the game, man, he would be on there until like 5 o'clock in the morning. I agree. If I had the game right now, I probably would not stop playing it. At the same time, though, look, Ty Grisham literally watched me and Fanatico play a very technical fight, and he called it boring. So look, I'll say that the fun factor is going to be subjective. Obviously, as anything is, man, but it's going to be subjective to what you're looking for. If you're looking to go in there and just slug it out, I don't know if you're going to find it fun. If you're going in there to have a really technical fight, then yes, you may find it fun, you know? If you're looking to exploit some stuff, man, then that stuff may be gone by the time the game actually comes out. Hopefully it is gone, so, I mean, your fun factor may be out the window too, but obviously, fun is going to be subjective depending on what you want and what your expectations are going into this game. But I think your expectations should really be to go in there, have a technical fight, and have a more realistic looking fight than what we've seen before. Leaning and punching. All right, this is the last thing I'm gonna touch on. Leaning and punching. They might as well have just said, "Coach, we're talking to you," because as much as I talked about having the ability to lean and punch, you know what I'm saying? They might as well have just said it. "Coach, look, we're talking to you when we talk about this, all right? Look, we need to lean in and punching, all right? They did say that, you know, they were going to look into it, but there's really nothing solid, obviously. And I understand game development and stuff like that. So I'm not bugged out about the fact that they said, look, we're looking to it, but not guaranteed. The fact of the matter is that whenever you update a game, especially something like that, hell, you update small stuff and you potentially break the game all over again, and then you got to go fix all the other stuff. So look, man, I get it. I get why it's the way it is in the first place, at least to a certain degree. But at the same time, man, momentum is important. And right now, momentum of a fight is somewhat stalled, especially when you're on the inside. If you're sticking to fighting on the outside, pot shotting, setting up things, stuff like that, you're great. But when it comes to, if you want to get on that inside and bang, you're going to need to have the ability to slip, punch, and not have to reset back to center. And that's just, I mean, it just is what it is, man. Like, we need it. We need it. If we don't get it, it's not like I won't touch the game. Obviously, y'all already know that. But if you're really trying to take this game, man, to the height of what it can be, you give it that. You give it that. I know they talked about the weight shifts and all that type of stuff. That was stuff that we had already talked about during the ESBC game event. And that is all completely understandable. When they move, they shift weight. You have the ability to throw a jab on the front foot. You have the ability to throw a jab on the back foot. And things look different. And it's great. You should be able to do that. Because if you're fighting somebody who's paying attention to that type of stuff, then you can use those things to literally throw someone off of their game. And it's good. I'm glad that they have all that. But when it comes to that slipping, when it comes to the weaving, I didn't so much. I know it was brought up that maybe they wasn't slipping far enough. I didn't personally have an issue with it, because there is going to get to a point where you're gonna, if they tweak it too much, then it's going to look unrealistic, yo. It's not going to look real, like, at all, how far it's switching. And here's the point that I want to prove, or that I really want to make. Here's the point I want to make when it comes to slipping and it not being too far. Boxing is a game of inches, all right? When you slip, you don't want to over-exaggerate your slip, no ways. You literally want to slip to where the punch just whizzes past you. You don't want to over exaggerate a slip unnecessarily. Because it slows down your return. Is all, dude. Go Google it. Go Google it. Go find it on YouTube. Like what I'm saying, I'm trying to tell you, you can find it out there. Any good coach is going to tell you that boxing is literally a game of inches. You don't want to over exaggerate a slip if you don't have to, right? And in a video game, the slip is going to be where it's at. If it's too far or too little, it's just going to be there. I think where they have it is not bad. I didn't see a need for a tweak. That's not to say though that if they don't tweak it, that it may not look better. Who knows, man? At this point, you just kind of do it and then just and test it, and then we'll go from there. And then just see what the community says about it and go from that point. But those are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about as for right now. Later on, I will, when I get a chance to get kind of set back up again, probably later on this week, I will sit down and do a live stream and then go through, because it's like a 40-minute interview. Like, that roundtable was long. But I think I summed up like kind of the major parts. Outside of the punches, they did talk about punches, but punches, I didn't want to do it in this because punches is going to be an ongoing conversation. It's always going to be something that's going to be talked about because you're either going to like it or you aren't, right? And it kind of is what it is. But I think at this point, I like the idea of going to early access, especially if it gets the game in everybody's hands sooner than later. I'm not mad at early access, not even in the slightest. As long as you give it to me on a discounted price. They did say that they were going to have 8 divisions. So only 8 divisions at the start. And I want to cut the video there because I want to know how y'all feel about the things that I already said. How y'all feel about only having 8 divisions. For a little bit of context on that, they did say that they were going to merge like divisions, not like middleweight with welterweight. It's just you wouldn't have the supers and your juniors. So you wouldn't have like super welterweight and you wouldn't have like junior welterweight, basically. So it would just be a welterweight division. So like I said, I'll cut it there. Y'all let me know y'all's thoughts on that and everything else that I mentioned in the video. Like I said, we'll talk about it some more later on in the week once I get kind of like set back up again. But look, we finally got something to talk about. They're back. I don't know how long, but look, it'd be nice if they did it again. Or you could invite me for an interview. One of the 2. I'm down with either one. But look, man, appreciate y'all for coming back to the Coach's Corner. And as always, I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.